Across the United Kingdom, there are now public streets where you can be fined and even receive a criminal record for praying silently or simply offering to speak to another human being. This is the story of censorship zones and the courageous men and women standing up for basic freedoms, even the very freedom to think.
The British government charged Adam Smith Connor with the heinous crime of standing 50 meters from an abortion clinic and silently praying for 3 minutes.
I was criminally convicted for silently praying for 3 minutes on a public street in Bournemouth, England. 24 years ago, I lost my unborn son, Jacob, to abortion. This is the biggest regret of my life. In November 2022, I was interrogated and fined for violating a so-called buffer zone.
Can I ask what is the nature of your prayer today?
What is the nature of it? I'm praying for my son.
We are in the belief, therefore, that you are in breach of the cause for you.
I stood there, my back to the facility, praying in silence. My heart was with Jacob. I'm grateful to Vice President Vance for talking about my case and highlighting the fact that people are now being criminalised for their thoughts in the United Kingdom. With ADF support, I'm appealing my conviction in July 2025. Silent prayer is not a crime.
I'm Isabel. I was arrested twice for silently praying in a Birmingham buffer zone.
Did you standing to be part of the protest?
No. I'm not protesting.
Are you praying?
I might be praying in my head.
Okay, well then you're under arrest on suspicion of failing to comply with the Public Spaces Protection Order.
For over 20 years, I've been going outside abortion centres to pray there and offer help and alternatives to those who feel that abortion is their only choice, as well as offering hope to those negatively impacted by abortion. In 2022, a large censorship zone, which crossed several streets, was imposed around the abortion centre I'd previously prayed at. This banned any act of approval or disapproval of abortion. I reasoned that this wouldn't affect my silent prayers, and so I went within the zone to do just that. Police officers arrived and asked what I was doing. When I said that I might be praying in my head, they charged me with a criminal offence. After a legal battle, supported by ADF, the court returned a not guilty verdict. But yet, a few weeks later, I was re-arrested for doing exactly the same thing, just standing silently praying, not even interacting with anyone. I knew the way I was being treated by the police was wrong and made a claim against them for violating my rights, which they settled for £13,000. Yet, despite all this, police continue to harass me week after week, relentlessly intimidating me for standing silently on a public street. Nobody should be prosecuted for their thoughts or for being pro-life.
My calling as a Catholic priest is to be a man of prayer, which includes praying for our country. I was charged for breaching a censorship zone in Birmingham by silently praying. I held a sign saying that I was praying for free speech. I also faced police action for a bumper sticker that had been on my car for years that read "Unborn Lives Matter." ADF supported me and I was found not guilty. But this should never have happened. In a free society, prayer and peaceful expression should not be crimes.
My crime? Holding a sign saying, "Here to talk, if you want." That's all he said. I love talking to people and believe simple conversations can bring a ray of light in their lives, even if just for a few short moments. I've had many positive interactions while holding the sign about all manner of topics. I simply stood there on a public street corner near the abortion facility in Bournemouth, ready to speak to anyone. Even so, in March 2025, I was put on criminal trial. In April, I was found guilty. I'm grateful to ADF for backing my defense and plan to appeal. Consensual conversation is not a crime.
In February 2025, I was arrested in a buffer zone for holding a sign that said, "Coercion is a crime. Here to talk only if you want." Scotland made coercive control a crime in 2018. When it comes to abortion, coercion is all too common. 1 in 7 say that they have experienced it. But no matter where we stand in abortion, we should all agree that no one should be forced into something so serious. My case shows the reality that these buffer zones strip women of the chance to have a simple consensual conversation. They're not pro-choice. They are no choice.
Adam was convicted on account of his silent prayer. He now stands a criminal.
Democracies over here who are arresting people, who are censoring people, fining people for expressing non-violent opinions.
I think what's remarkable about Livia's case is that they've inferred that she's disapproving of abortion from her known beliefs.
The idea that people are being prosecuted for peacefully standing on public streets and either praying silently or just offering to talk is absurd.
England, birthplace of the Magna Carta, is criminalising thought and consensual conversations. Censorship zones have now been expanded across all of England, Wales, Northern Ireland and Scotland. Until these censorial zones are repealed, the abuses of fundamental freedoms will keep happening. The world is watching the United Kingdom. These are not crimes, and these men and women are not criminals. Stand with them, as together we defend the right of every person to pray, to speak, to think freely.